There's multiple reasons why wintertime in Wisconsin is so magical. Like every now and then, the power just magically goes out, which is why we have a generator. Because cows still got to get milked, even when the power's out. Alrighty, we got a big old box. Fragile. Must be Italian. Well, would you look at that? That is just downright beautiful. Well, let's get her in. Alright, got the radiator in, top hose on, bottom hose on. That one's about as much fun as it looks like. And I really hope it's on all the way. It's kind of hard to tell for sure, and for some reason the flash ain't working on my phone, so I can't get a light in there to show you, but there's about a finger width of pipe, whatever you want to call it, little stub there left, which I'd be a lot happier if that hose slid on the whole thing, but I think there's a spring in here. On this hose, there's usually, yeah, the bottom hose usually has a spring on it, so that hose won't just crush down and then the water flows. But I gotta put the side brace on here. I left that side brace, so I just gotta put the bolts in here, and I'll do that quick and be right back. Alright, radiator's in, side brackets here, all in. There's these little piece of angle iron almost looking things that come out to hold this trans and hydraulic cooler. And at first I had these mounted on this side of the plate. Well, then they're out too far and they won't bolt into this, so I had to tear it, the top part of it, down again. And then of course the holes don't line up, but we got it all now. Now I probably do that fan, do this pipe, and then I got to run uptown to get coolant because I don't have any, and try to find this bolt. So this close. And for that guy in the comments who's going to be like, oh, you trust a 1/4-inch impact to do all your torquing? No, he's a wrench. That saves me a bunch of ratcheting around. I go back through, like that one, torque her down good. And that one. I really just use that thing to save me some finger work and wrenching. But if you give them a few good unga dungas, they're good for these little bolts. Alrighty, pro tip. When your fan shroud is rubbing your fan, but everything is right and you have no idea why, sometimes these aftermarket radiators have little adjustment screws in a slot, so you can slide that fan shroud around. I noticed that, and that saved a lot of frustration, and I almost took a hammer to this. Glad I didn't. Well, I'm sorry you didn't get to see it, but you saw me tear it apart, so you saw me put it back together. Well, just go back and watch the last video and play it backwards. You'll get to see me put it back together. Now, I got all this room. So, probably tomorrow, I'm going to finish cleaning. I started. And we're going to bring our 5120 Maxim over. Is it Maxim? Or Maximum? Not Maximum. I don't know. A little 4-wheel drive. It's got a loader on it. Hopefully it doesn't have it when it gets here, because I'll have to take it off. And we'll get that thing all tore apart and dig into that. Apparently what it's doing is leaking engine oil into the rear end, into the transmission fluid. Don't know how. Really don't know how those things work, so we shall see. Magnum is officially relieved from grind and feed, and the white is back where she belongs. So we accomplished something today, and today is also Colt's birthday. He is 4, so I got the new battery for this piece of crap. I don't like you. So before I get too carried away, I am going to throw my tester on this, make sure it's good. Because, I mean, everything you get off the internet is always perfect. And it's not just the Max battery, it is the Mighty Max. And, of course, my tester is down in the barn. Now I got to go get that. Be right back. Alrighty. New battery's in. I'm going to need 4 hands to do this. Or just set you back here. Ish. That'll work. You're probably gonna fall off. Low volt. Well, I'm stumped and not very happy. I had the tender on that battery all night and it's getting charged up, and I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I think that's the end of my knowledge ability to fix it. So the only thing I can think of is the stator. I think that's what they're called, down on the engine. That basically the alternator for a four-wheeler, and I got no idea how to do that, and don't really want to dig into it that far, so I got a guy for this. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's running. So I will tell you how I got it started after I tell you this. So for the past year, this thing was giving me low voltage. The battery would eventually just die out and ruin the battery. I went through like 2 batteries. There was definitely something wrong with the voltage. Because voltage was low, I'm guessing it caused some other issues. So the voltage regulator probably was bad. I don't know how to test them, but I used to have another one just a year newer than this one. That was my wife's, and I sold that one, but I did have to replace that voltage regulator in it. So I just assumed this one, and they're only like 40-50 bucks, so whatever, throw it in new. So it definitely probably need, maybe, I don't know, I put one in, maybe it needed it, maybe it didn't. New battery in. I'm gonna check it in a minute just to make sure it is charging where it should be and not just slowly draining the battery. But to get it started, I tapped on the starter and then turned the key. Running low voltage, I don't know if it maybe just gummed up the start. It's a Polaris, but it is running. I got the day after birthday boy here, so we're probably gonna go take this thing for a ride and make sure it's running good. I'm not even happy it's running. I'm just mad that I had to tap on the starter. Alright, so I checked it while it was 14.5 volts, so it's charging good. So that problem is fixed. I shut it off and tried to start it again, and it just clicked. So either we got a bad starter solenoid or a bad starter. Just a second. And because I pound on the starter and it starts, that probably means it's a bad starter. And seeing where it's at, I don't want to do it, but I'm a cheap ass, so I'm probably going to do it myself. But until then, if I hammer on the starter and then try to start it, it starts. So we're gaining ground. But my next four-wheeler is going to be a Honda. Okay, well, after a little ride in the snow, the last couple times I tried this, and of course when I try to do it on camera, it just clicks. I don't know, I'll keep pounding that starter for a while, see if it's just kind of gunked up, maybe, hopefully, but I got an oil change and an air filter I'm going to do for this, so I don't know if I ever changed the air filter in this yet or not. It might be a little dirty. Although taking this cover off kind of seems familiar. Hard to tell with that side. Yeah. I'd say it's about time. So, I'm going to change the air filter, change the oil, and hopefully that starter decides to stop acting up. Because it's basically right there is the starter. Probably not the worst job I ever had to do, but don't look very fun. Then again, most times fixing stuff isn't very fun. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's not completely done, but there's definitely a difference. My oil filter is right there. I should have been thinking and did that when I had the battery out. And I actually thought about it, but I said, no, it'll be fine. I shouldn't have done that.